This is your WGBW Daily News Roundup for the Talk of Green Bay, 97.9 FM and 1590 AM.
Civic Media News, I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. A Rockford, Illinois man faces 13 charges for Wednesday afternoon's killing spree. 4 people were killed with a baseball bat and a knife. 7 more are badly hurt. Rockford Police Chief Carla read,
"This cuts you at the root. I can't imagine what the families are going through."
Christian Soto admits to killing a friend, the friend's mother, a mail carrier, and a teenage girl in a span of about 20 minutes. All the rain and snow Wisconsin got in the past week are alleviating drought conditions in many parts of the state. It was the first time in 2 years that March rain totals were above average. Much of Wisconsin has been in a drought since 2022, including the entire state last year. Wisconsin is getting $12 million to pay for mental health efforts in public schools. The State Department of Public Instruction says it'll distribute the federal funding to 40 school districts. State School Superintendent Jill Underly says the money will help schools pay for resources and staff. Donald Trump supporters in southeast Wisconsin are trying again to get a recall election against Republican State Assembly Speaker Robin Vos. Recall organizers filed the paperwork yesterday. Now they're saying Vos should be recalled because of his support of the Chinese Communist Party. Vos has called the recall leaders whack jobs and morons. Wisconsin's Revenue Secretary is stepping down soon. Peter Barca was first appointed in 2019. He'll leave office April 9th. Before that, he represented the Kenosha area in the state assembly in the U.S. House. He worked in the Small Business Administration during the Clinton administration. Healthcare providers are signing people up in Wisconsin for Medicare and Medicaid. Dr. Gina Williams is with United Healthcare. She says a dual-eligible special needs plan is for people who need more help.
From managing your wellness to managing your behavioral health needs and then everyday needs.
Christine Huberty is with the Greater Wisconsin Agency on Aging Resources. She says it's mostly for older people with disabilities.
First and foremost, look at the provider network restrictions and look at what's available in your area.
But only about 3 in 10 people who qualify for dual-eligible special needs plans were enrolled in 2021. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Over 70 drone pilot teams from multiple Wisconsin agencies took to the sky Thursday to find missing 3-year-old Elijah Vu. Two Rivers police say agencies from Outagamie, Sheboygan, and other counties searched for the child. Police continue to encourage coordinated and legal searches. Elijah was first reported missing on February 20th. No one has been charged with his disappearance. His mother and her boyfriend are in jail on child neglect charges. 3 Oshkosh residents face drug distribution charges following a traffic stop by Dodge County sheriffs on March 20th. During the stop, K-9 Deputy Cade alerted to illicit drugs. A search was conducted, and officials say significant amount of drugs and paraphernalia were found. 49-year-old Jeremy Mulvey, 48-year-old Sean Lux, and 53-year-old Jane Gluntz were charged with possession with the intent to deliver fentanyl and possession with the intent to deliver methamphetamine, among other charges. A Marinette woman is charged with first-degree reckless homicide and child neglect resulting in death for the June 15th death of her boyfriend's 3-year-old son. According to the criminal complaint against 32-year-old Samantha Wishman, first responders were called to the home for a child who was unresponsive and not breathing. Wishman told police that the boy had fallen down the stairs the night before. Police say the child's injuries were not consistent with a fall. An initial court appearance has not been scheduled. The Crandon School District has completely cleaned facilities, installed carbon monoxide detectors throughout their school, and tasked the staff with daily monitoring. The district says they're confident that the school is ready to open when classes resume on April 2nd. Earlier this month, 39 people were treated at hospitals after people fell ill and the school building was evacuated. It's happening more often. Municipalities are removing ash trees from parks along the streets and other areas due to damage from the emerald ash borer. Appleton will be removing 870 of the ash trees at a cost of $375,000. This will include the removal of trees in Hoover and Green Meadows parks. The emerald ash borer is an invasive species of insect that weakens and kills trees. It was first detected in Wisconsin in 2008. Universities of Wisconsin will see a tuition increase next academic year if a proposal in front of the Board of Regents next week is approved. The 3.75% increase is designed to keep up with inflation, according to UW President Jay Rothman. Under the proposal, tuition and fees at UW Green Bay would increase to $8,700, and tuition at UW Oshkosh would increase to $8,532. This proposal will increase tuition for the second year in a row after a 10-year tuition freeze. Falls are the leading cause of injuries and injury-related deaths among adults ages 65 and older. Mike Stanley, the Oshkosh Fire Chief, says falls are the number one reason for calls at his department.
Clearly, that's one of the biggest risks, if not the biggest risk, in the Oshkosh community is our aging community. People age 60 or older are falling down, several times a day.
Oshkosh residents 60 and older have access to a free fall prevention app thanks to a partnership between the Oshkosh Fire Department and Denver-based company Nimble. Stanley said one of the best things about the app is that it will help residents improve their balance at home.
So many of them have transportation issues. So this addresses that transportation issue of I can do this from my home. I can do this from my living room, so that I don't have to worry about securing a ride to go somewhere.
Wisconsin saw more than 1,700 fall-related deaths in 2021. And that's what you need to know. I'm Lisa Hale, WGBW News.
The Bucks lose in the Big Easy. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks lost to the Pelicans, 107-100. New Orleans led by as much as 18 and played a very physical kind of game. The Bucks' Malik Beasley had 6 3-pointers, but it wasn't enough.
I don't know, it was a tough game, so it doesn't really matter if we lose. I like winning. I'd rather hit 1 3 than hit whatever I hit and win. So it's frustrating, but, we'll finish the season off right.
They play the Hawks in Atlanta tomorrow night. College basketball, the Badgers women's team with a decisive win over Illinois State, 86-61. They advanced to the Great Eight in the WNIT. Wisconsin's Sanya Copeland leading with 18 points. Baseball, the Brewers open the season in New York against the Mets. Pat Murphy on what he's learned going from being the bench coach to becoming the team's manager.
The game's evolving, and it behooves you to evolve with it. But, my eyes have been wide open.
That's Brewers manager Pat Murphy. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Don't you love sequels? Especially when they're spread over a couple decades so the characters actually look older and fatter? Speaking of which, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are back in Bad Boys 4. The status of the project was up in the air after Smith slapped Oscar host Chris Rock a couple years ago. Luckily, mega producer Jerry Bruckheimer says everyone deserves forgiveness, especially when it makes him a lot of loot. FYI, if Smith ever wants to slap an Oscar host again, he'll have to hope he bumps into Jimmy Kimmel while out running errands, as he has been banned from the Oscars for 10 years. Also, Bad Boys 4 will most likely never get close to an Oscar nomination. Easter weekend at the box office welcomes the new Liam Neeson film to theaters, and The Land of Saints and Sinners opens Friday. My guess is Neeson plays a killer with a heart. As with every Liam Neeson film, there appears to be family, revenge, and killing, but this time it's in the Irish countryside. Reviews so far are favorable. With Liam Neeson, you pretty much know what you're going to get. If you're a Prince fan, get ready to go crazy. Us Weekly reports that The Hollywood Reporter reports that there is a script for a new Prince musical movie project in the works. Ryan Coogler, the filmmaker behind Black Panther and Creed, has reportedly been working on the project since 2018. No one is attached yet to play the role of Prince, but there is a certain host of Nightlight with Pete Schwaba who would love an opportunity. Prince died at his home in 2016 at the age of 57. The raid on music producer Sean Combs' houses has caused quite a stir. Authorities searched his mansions in Miami and Los Angeles due to suspicions of sex trafficking. One of Combs' Beverly Hills neighbors, 86-year-old Academy Award-winning director Ridley Scott, could not even get into his home due to police presence during the search. No arrests were made, but police still have more of Diddy's properties to search. To be clear, Sean Combs is not accused of sex trafficking Ridley Scott. HBO's Bill Maher is creating a podcast network. Deadline reports that the host of Real Time and Club Random podcast will launch a new cast starting with sports journalist Sage Steele. Maher says he wants to feature celebrities who want to branch out and talk about something different and feature real unedited discussions. Mara's excited to be working with Sage Steele because he says, like him, she also ticked off Disney. In keeping your head above water news, remember Good Times, the TV show set in 1970 Chicago in the Cabrini Green housing project? Well, Norman Lear's groundbreaking sitcom is getting an animated reboot. Deadline reports that the new look Good Times will drop April 12th on Netflix. The show will star J.B. Smoove, Yvette Nicole Brown, and Jay Farrow. Character descriptions sound very similar to the original Evans family, except in the reboot there is a drug-dealing infant. How do you not watch that? For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, every night between 7 and 9 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Mostly sunny and a little warmer today. We'll get to near 50 by this afternoon. The wind out of the east at 5 to 15. Tonight, cloudy with some scattered rain. We could get 1 to 2/10 of an inch tonight, low of 31. Could see a little snow mix in at times late tonight. Tomorrow, showers in the morning, then cloudy. 46 tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Right now, it's 31.
That's your WGBW Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WGBW.FM.